three of the most powerful AI models on Earth. One simple question: who wins the 2026 World Cup? I sent the exact same prompt to Claude, to GPT 5.5, and to Gemini at the exact same moment while the group stage was kicking off. I expected them to agree. They didn't. Two of them landed on the same country for completely different reasons. The third one broke ranks entirely. And here's the part that got me: all three of them ignored the team that's actually ranked number one in the world. This isn't a video about who's right. It's about what happens when the smartest machines we've ever built look at the same data and walk away with different answers. First, the setup, because the rules matter. It's mid June 2026. The World Cup is being co hosted by the United States, Canada, and Mexico, and the opening match just happened. Mexico beat South Africa 2 to nothing. So every model is predicting into a live tournament, not a hypothetical. I gave each one identical instructions: same wording, same constraints. Predict the champion. Name the single biggest factor behind your pick and give me a confidence number. Now, here's the board they were working from. The bookmaker's favorite is Spain at plus 470. France is right behind at plus 480. But FIFA's actual world ranking tells a different story. Number one isn't Spain or France, it's Argentina, the reigning champions. Keep that gap in mind. The market says one thing, the rankings say another, and the AIs are about to say a third. Before the predictions, let's ground this in the actual schedule, because this is a real tournament with real fixtures. Mexico already opened it, beating South Africa 2 to nothing at the iconic Azteca, now officially renamed the Banorte. Then the contenders arrive. On June 16th, France open against Senegal at MetLife Stadium. Argentina, the champions, begin their title defense against Algeria in Kansas City. And Spain, the bookmakers' favorite, actually kicked off a day earlier on June 15th against Cape Verde in Atlanta. Three of these teams are about to be picked by an AI to win the whole thing. So, how do the models actually see it playing out? First model up: GPT 5.5, the newest flagship from OpenAI. Its pick: France. And when I asked for the one factor it weighted most, the answer came down to two things: keep Mbappe fit and let France's depth do the rest. GPT's logic is the logic of a long tournament. 7 games in under a month, brutal travel across 3 countries, heat, injuries. In its view, the team that wins isn't the one with the best 11, it's the one with the best 23. France can lose a striker, lose a midfielder, and still field a side that would start for almost anyone else. Its confidence: 28%. Notice that number. Even the model's top pick is something it's only about 1 in 4 sure about. We'll come back to that. Second model: Gemini 3.1 Pro, Google's latest. Its pick: also France. 2 for France. But watch the reasoning, because it's not quite the same argument. GPT leaned on Mbappe and firepower. Gemini fixated on something far less glamorous: logistics. Quote, unmatched depth to survive the brutal North American travel and climates. Gemini's bet is that this expanded 48-team tournament is a war of attrition spread across a continent, and the squad with the most depth simply outlasts everyone. Same champion, completely different reason. And here's the kicker: Gemini's confidence is 32%, the highest of all three. So far, we have two models, two roads, one destination. And then it was Claude's turn. Third model, Claude Opus 4.8 from Anthropic. And Claude broke the pattern. Its pick wasn't France, it was Spain. Here's the reasoning in Claude's own words: best collective system, not just talent. Euro 2024 proved it. Claude's argument flips the whole premise. GPT and Gemini bet on talent, depth, and a superstar. Claude bet on a system. Its case is that Spain are the most complete team in the world, that they won the last Euros playing the best collective football on the planet, and that possession based control is exactly the style that survives a long, draining tournament because it doesn't depend on one player having a perfect night. The risk Claude named itself. Spain's core is incredibly young, and one cold finishing day in a knockout can end anyone. Its confidence 24%, the lowest of the three. The model that disagreed was also the least certain it was right. Here's where it gets fun. I asked each model to map its champion's entire path to the final. Not just who lifts the trophy, but who they have to beat to get there. GPT 5.5 sends France through Croatia, then Portugal, past Germany in the semi final, and over Brazil in the final. Gemini also backs France, but down a completely different road. Senegal, then the Netherlands, Argentina in the semis, and then Brazil in the final. Same champion, same trophy, totally different journey. And Claude? Claude has Spain grinding through the bracket and meeting France in the final. Now look closely. Two of them even land on the exact same final, France against Brazil. But Claude breaks away one more time, all the way to the end. They don't just disagree on the winner, they disagree on the entire road to get there. So, why did three brilliant models, given identical information, split like this? This is the actual lesson, and it has nothing to do with soccer. They split on a philosophy. There's an invisible fault line running through every prediction like this, and it's the oldest debate in sports: talent versus system. GPT and Gemini both stood on the talent side. The most gifted squad, the best individual, will rise. Claude stood on the system side. The best organized collective will grind everyone else down. Neither is wrong. They're optimizing for different definitions of what wins a tournament. And here's why that matters far beyond the World Cup. When you ask an AI to predict anything, a stock, an election, a product launch, it isn't pulling an answer out of the air. It's silently choosing which factor matters most, and that hidden choice decides the output. Change the weighting, change the winner. The disagreement you just watched isn't noise, it's the models showing you their priors out loud. Now, let's check the AIs against the real world because this is where it gets uncomfortable. Remember the betting market? The bookmakers' number one is Spain. So, Claude, the model that broke ranks, is the one that actually agrees with the smart money. The two models that agreed with each other landed on the market's second choice. Interesting. But here's the twist that none of them saw coming. FIFA's number one ranked team, the actual reigning world champions, is Argentina. And not a single one of the three models picked them to win. Not GPT, not Gemini, not Claude. Argentina shows up in their top fours, but never on top. Think about that. Three of the most capable reasoning systems ever built, and all three quietly faded the defending champions. Is that a shared blind spot? Three models trained on overlapping data drifting to the same bias? Or is it a shared insight that this Argentina side is older and past its peak? We genuinely don't know yet. That's what the tournament is for. Let's talk about the number everyone skips: confidence. GPT 5.5 said 28%, Gemini 32, Claude 24. Look at those again. Even the boldest of these models is barely 1 in 3 confident in its own top pick. That is the most honest thing in this entire experiment. A bad forecaster gives you a team and a swagger. A good forecaster gives you a team and a probability. And that probability quietly admits that most of the time, the thing it just told you won't happen. They even disagreed on the dark horses. GPT liked Colombia. Gemini liked the United States, the host nation. Claude liked Morocco, the team that shocked everyone in 2022. The takeaway isn't that I is bad at predictions. It's that anyone who tells you they know who wins the World Cup, machine or human, is selling certainty that doesn't exist. So, how do you actually use this? Instead of just watching three robots argue, here's the method, and it works for way more than soccer. 1. Never ask one model, ask three. Agreement between independent models is a real signal. Disagreement is an even more useful one because it shows you exactly where the uncertainty lives. 2. Always demand the key factor. Don't accept the answer. Make the model tell you the single thing it weighted most. That one sentence reveals the entire hidden bias behind the prediction. 3. Always demand a confidence number. An answer without a probability is just an opinion wearing a lab coat. And 4. Look for the thing they all skipped. All three models faded Argentina. When every model agrees to ignore the same option, that's not consensus, that's a clue. I put this entire framework, the exact prompt I used, the scoring grid, and a one-page prediction template into a free download. Details at the end. So here's the verdict. Two models said France, betting on talent and depth. One model said Spain, betting on a system. The market sides with Claude. The ranking side with Argentina, who nobody picked. And every single one of them admitted it's barely 1 in 3 sure. People keep waiting for AI to hand them the future like a cheat code. That's not what happened here. What happened is more useful. Three of the smartest systems on the planet looked at the same world and showed us their reasoning, their priors, and their doubt. The disagreement isn't the bug. The disagreement is the most honest forecast you'll ever get. The real winner of this experiment isn't France or Spain or Argentina. It's anyone who learns to read the gaps between the answers. If you got value from this, do two things. Bite size AI drops are on my Instagram. Deep dives like this one live here on YouTube, so subscribe. And grab the free prediction kit, the prompt, the scoring grid, and the template at the link in the description. I'll see you in the next one.